Hello everybody, good evening to all of you. Hope everybody can hear me well, and also the background, the course materials. Today what we are going to do, also I believe everybody can see well, in addition to you all can hear me well. So, okay, warmly welcome to this session number 1. Today our very first session on this advanced audit and assurance, the corporate level CS Sri Lanka. As we agreed, today just to have a tour on how we are going to do this next 3 months, let's say. To be exact, your examination will be held on last week of December, let's say somewhere after the Christmas. So up until such time, we will be discussing, even though we actually advertise this as kind of a revision, we definitely have to do this some sort of theoretical discussion as well. Now, for an instance, how we are going to do this, let's go through some questions. Those are available in past papers, let's say, and let's take one by one chapters, and also what are the questions that are being tested. In such way, we are able to understand the theories, or let's say the materials that we want to answer the questions well, as well as we know exactly what is the question, in which part of the let's say a syllabus this question being tested. So then we have a proper sort of a connection, theory as well as the questions those being tested. Yeah, even though we said this will be a revision, so this is how we are going to conduct. I hope all you guys are okay with that, because definitely a cup of tea, not only to do the questions, past paper question, but in addition to that, we'll have to sharpen the knowledge. Sharpen the knowledge. You have to have the knowledge inbuilt. Whenever you want to attempt the questions in your next examination, let's say the paper questions that you are getting, you have to have the knowledge first. So what we are going to do accordingly, not only the questions that were available in the past papers, but as well as theories, subject matter, let's say. Before we move to chapter number 1, today very first day, bit of raining outside, the gloomy wet Monday evening. Before we move into actually the very first chapter, that is chapter number 1, let's take a tour on our syllabus. What I am always saying, that could be auditing, that could be some other subject, or something that day-to-day things that you guys are attending. Fundamentals are very, very important. Basics are very, very important. You may have a lot of complex things, but basics, fundamentals, principles lying on the floor, or maybe as pillars. On top only you have all these complex, modern, novel things. So, let us go through this basic, fundamental, that is the syllabus content, what I would say. We have 8 parts of this syllabus of advanced audit and assurance. Part A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Now, when it comes to your level of CA corporate level, especially this type of subjects, though we have separate chapters or maybe let us say parts of the syllabus like what we have now, it doesn't seriously mean that you will get questions directly from let us say governance internal control framework. You will have one question and you want to attend that question and you will be getting 20 marks. No. Because you are at corporate level and your paper is very much well weighted with lot of qualitative aspects. I also can say lot of practical aspects because our subject is advanced audit and assurance. So that hardly you guys are getting one question from this chapter, one question from this part and another one from this part, no. Let us say you are getting a question, a tricky one, that you want to plan an audit of a certain client, a company, organization. What do? You can't simply answer from part A, neither B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Then what? It's a combination of all. Combination of all. So try to understand very at the beginning. Accordingly, you have to arrange in a such a way the knowledge that you are gathering, not narrow down the scope into particular chapter or the parts of the syllabus, but to have a very holistic view, very much holistic view. That's what the nature of this subject, syllabus, curriculum. In one of my previous video, I rather went on to say, even though many people believe, for some reason they feel, maybe I would say, this subject is very much, let's say, difficult first of all when it comes to an examination. Sorry, and the other thing is, quite most of the questions not directly being tested, cannot understand. A lot of qualitative aspects, true. But for me, this is the most interesting subject that you have. And you guys have a very good opportunity. It's not anymore 2 plus 2 equal 4, or let's say you entered with Albert and Company a sales transaction on a credit basis, then Albert and Company debit, sales credit. And this is also not that you have some cash flows and then you discount those cash flows and then you come up with a net present value or IRR or some other, let's say, predetermined benchmark, and then you decide whether to go ahead or not the project. This subject is not like that. No. For an instance, we have 5 different types of audit opinions. No? We will discuss. So, let us say 5 of you people are attending to this particular questions printed on the question paper. Ideally, it should be one answer. If it is a particular questions printed on the question paper, if 5 people are sitting for the examination, ideally the answer should be same for everybody to get the marks. Total, let us say. But in this particular subject or even at the examination, 5 of you people are providing 5 different answers as your audit opinions. All 5 of you have let us say same equal opportunity to end up with the total number of marks allocated. That is the beauty of this subject. For that you have to have this holistic, the knowledge that you have been gathered along with lot of practical aspects, and then you take all these together and then apply in the particular moment situation at the examination. Okay. So putting in that context, this subject is very, very interesting and it's also a bliss. Before you enter into a transaction, sales transaction with Albert and Company on a credit basis, you have to ask series of questions. Why with the Albert? Why it's not with the Bertie? Why with Albert on a credit basis? Why not on a cash basis? Why with Albert only for these type of goods? Why not the other goods or services? Plenty of series of questions in auditing syllabus, but in accounting only double entry of Luca Pacioli. What I am trying to say, try to see the other side of the coin, not always everybody see the side of the coin saying, this subject is very difficult, boring, or let us say cannot understand the questions that being tested. I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, I will take you through this journey tour, so then you yourself able to understand, rather I do say, because you all are professionals, no need to spoon feed executives, managers. You all can understand what I am saying, and let's spend couple of days together and then you realize what I am saying, whether it's true or not. Meantime, I actually forgot to mention, if you have any questions, raise your voice, raise your hand at any moment, okay, then let's discuss while we are proceeding, okay. It's your liberty, okay, it's your liberty. So I am here, what doing is sharing the knowledge, aligning to the examination questions to help you all, so that you have this liberty, luxury to ask all the questions what you have, needless to say, okay, right. So one thing what we have realized among many things now is, though we have this separate or maybe different parts of the syllabus, it's very important that we understand each of the parts, but I am not going to spend the whole day on this, because usually what I am trying to plan is take the chapter, discuss with you important aspects, theory plus practical. Let's say for example, how if you do audit in a plantation company, how if you do audit in a banking, how if you do audit in a construction. Let's apply into practical aspect as well, And in addition to that, let's take questions that those being tested in recent past in these examination papers. If you have any other suggestions, yeah, you can throw those suggestions as well. Okay, so we have these 8 parts of the syllabus. I will not spend much time on this. If you take the first one, it's very, very important, I would say. Corporate governance, internal control, including COSO, we will discuss. Not only Sri Lanka, but all across the globe. How many episodes, scandals, corporate collapses that you and I know. I told you, I think the previous one of my video, the world largest company then back in 18th century, Enron, collapsed overnight. In Sri Lanka, many companies, they were giants, collapsed. Why? Lack of internal controls. Lack of internal controls, along with not practicing the corporate governance at its best. So, very important part of the syllabus. And also the planning. There is a famous motto, plan to fail, fail to plan is plan to fail. So, we will discuss insights, aspects, important areas, audit planning, as well as how you could assess the risk. Risk is the difference, risk is the delta, risk is the deviation. Risk is what you are expecting and what actually you are getting. Something wrong in somewhere. Let's look at what it is with respect to financial statement audit. So, that is what all about risk assessment. Very popular topic, audit evidences, gathering audit evidences. I did a small video, it is available in this online Akura institution. On this, it is about for a sorry, 10 to 15 minutes. Let us take kind of a maybe I would say good discussion. Okay, yes, part D. Part D. Digitalization in everywhere. Digitalization is in everywhere. Advanced technology and digitalization is in everywhere. Why not in audits? Financial statements audits? Of course, yes. Let us discuss. And a very important aspect of financial statement audit, as we all know, reporting, that is your audit opinion. In your level, corporate level of CA Sri Lanka, hereafter you all either will be internal auditors or you all will be external auditors. So, you have to grab the whole entire knowledge at this level. People who did BL2, control, audit control, the particular subject controls, internal controls. You had only auditing standards. We have about 35 plus auditing standards right at the moment. In addition to your level, you will be having few other standards other than auditing standards, different standards. It could be review engagements that you have, special kind of a due diligence engagements that you want to have. It could be assets revaluation job that you are going to do, let's say. So, you have, in addition to auditing standards, what else other than financial statement audit you could do as a chartered accountant? Okay. It could be assurance or related services. There are about 18 plus standards on that, so altogether more than 50 for us to discuss. I will not go through the standards, but I just want to give you a brief. Wait until such time to come. And then quality should be at its best for auditor. Why? Because you want to maintain the trust and the confidence. If you don't maintain the trust and confidence of the community, society, public at large, what will happen? They will not anymore accept whatever the activities, duties, tasks undertaken by the auditors, especially audit report, audit opinion. So, you can't lose that, at least for a moment. Let us discuss quality matters, including you all have good knowledge on this ethics. Here we go, very interesting area. In addition to external auditing, you all have to have a good knowledge in this area as well, that is internal audit. Yeah, so as I mentioned a while ago, or repeated many times so far, we will go through part by part, but it doesn't mean that we are doing this with and aiming questions directly from this each of the parts. That will not happen in your level. For an example, part A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, 8 parts. So, questions that you are getting in your examination paper, it's not A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, but let us say R, S. For an example only, I am taking English letters, the alphabet. So, just to tell you, you can't, focus, concentrate in such a way on these chapters or parts. But for you to answer the question R, you should have to have the knowledge of entire 8 parts. I can repeat. For you to answer the question R, you should have the knowledge of all these 8 parts, which is as same as for to answer part or the question S. But it does mean not straightforward the questions being tested, or is going to be tested end of December, your examination paper. But if you can understand well the question reading maybe 2-3 times, I have to have the knowledge from this for an example, then you could successfully attend the questions to answer. Try to understand what I am saying, okay? Right. moving alone, moving alone. So I thought of basically stick onto the study pack was published by 𝐶𝐴 Sri Lanka, that is the official course material, so that we have to have a great confidence, trust on what we are studying. But when we want to answer the questions or during the discussions, I will be taking maybe different, I will take the discussion into different aspects which is not in the study pack. We, at least in your level, we cannot only do with the study pack, we at least some of the practical aspects, or maybe some other study materials we have to refer. Okay? Sure. Right. One of my the previous video as well available, this discussion or the what I am going to say now, but still worth you listen again and again and understand what I am saying. Now 8 parts, this is how weighted, this is how weighted. Now if you take the first one 10% and 15% the B and the C goes for, let us say 20%, and then digital matter 10%, reporting again 15%, then quality matter and the ethics 15%, but finally the internal audit is 5%. Now looking at the weightage, it is gathering audit evidences. Internal audit is the lowest, having 5%, but this is to guide us, this is to direct us, okay, because we have a very limited time. From the viewpoint of the examination, this is to help us when you are studying, your concentration should be in line with this weightage. But it does not mean when it comes to your knowledge, you have only 5% of knowledge from the internal audit, you are a corporate level, about to be a chartered accountant, 95% you don't know. %95 of internal audit related theories, practical aspects, concepts, principles, models, modern techniques, so on and so forth, you are not aware. I mean, if we simply go by the weighting listing, can you be a chartered accountant? And even if you want to be a chartered accountant, are you seriously a chartered accountant? I will be asking a few questions. So despite the weightage given, we have to have 95 to 100 knowledge of all these areas. I have been worked in a listed company as a group internal audit manager for 3 years consecutive, and I can tell you whether I can work with a 5% of my knowledge or with the 95% of my knowledge. So it's very important we understand this is just to guide us, aim in the examination. Moving along. You guys can ask any questions. Huh? I told you already, it's your liberty and luxury, not mine, but it's your liberty. Okay? Seriously, I am saying. I will not go through one by one each of these areas, because we, let's say, by and large will be taking these chapters. For an instance, today I will be starting chapter number 1. Wait for a moment. Don't go. Okay? That is introduction to auditing and few other matters. What happened? Okay. So I will not be go through this list, but you guys can see the screen well. Everywhere we have SLAUS, SLAUS, SLAUS. I hope you all know what is SLAUS already. Sri Lanka Auditing Standards. Starting with 200, here we have 210 because it's the accepting audit. 200 is general principles. Likewise, we have about 36 auditing standards right at the moment. Only auditing standards, but there are few other standards that also around 20, so exceeding 50. Now, if you take the concept like materiality, audit materiality, very interesting topic. You can't have these kind of the beauty where the subject like 2 + 2 = 4. No. These are real, I would say more than 90% qualitative, real life, living things. We will discuss what it means, audit materiality, and how you could assess the audit materiality in certain different circumstances and different financial statement audits. Okay. So I will be taking through quickly, because as I mentioned, I don't have any sort of expectation to spend time at this moment on these areas, because we are going to take separately. In case you are going to use experts or work of others, what about laws and regulations? Nowadays very important, internal control matters, gathering audit evidences. Everywhere you have SLAUS, everywhere you have. Live the life with the auditing standards if you are auditor. Some of the accounting standard matters. I have to tell you one thing which I forgot actually, but I want to tell you anyway before the end of the day. Let's say you want to be a smart auditor. You want to be a smart auditor. If you want to be a smart auditor, you should definitely be a master of accounting. Master, especially financial accounting. I can repeat. If you want to be a smart auditor, you definitely should be a master of financial accounting. Why? Because your subject matter is financial statements, which produce through financial accounting function of an organization. So, if you have any sort of lapses, hiccups, the knowledge in financial accounting functions and related aspects, including the complete set of financial statements, how can you do the audit? Okay, we will discuss. So, even though it is mentioned everywhere, the SLAUS, everywhere, here because of digital matter might not be there, but see everywhere SLAUS, SLAUS, SLAUS. But using these SLAUS, what you are doing an audit on a financial statements. To tell what? To tell whether these sets of financial statements provide a true and fair view. Forget about that for a while, correct or not. For you to tell correct or not, you must be a master, otherwise how? So, that is very, very important. Your knowledge in financial accounting, utmost important. You must exhibit, demonstrate always when you are acting as financial statement auditor. I am the man, master of financial accounting. Okay. I saw here the RPAs, robotic process automation. We will discuss, don't worry. To some extent, artificial intelligence. When the whole world discussing why not we maintain the silence, we also will discuss. Okay? Okay. Sure. As I mentioned earlier, audit report, very, very important area. Clean opinion, modified opinions, there are 4 different modified opinions, we will discuss, don't worry. So, I told you already, in this level, see a corporate level, it is not only audit report on financial statements, but as well some other assurance or the review engagements that you guys are undertaking. We will discuss. We have separate sets of standards for that. Quality matters. So, already I told you, quality must be at pinnacle for auditor. Must be at pinnacle. Why? Trust and the confidence. If you lose the trust and the confidence of the society, community, public at large, what will happen? Think about what will happen. Okay. Finally, we have internal audit related discussions, especially corporates, organizations, listed companies. I told you that I also worked before as internal auditor in a listed company. So, there are some similarities. I worked as external auditor as well for about 5 to 6 years. Quite similarities as well as differences, I would say. But I would more prefer to concentrate on the differences for us to segregate the two. Okay. Audit committee will discuss. Internal auditors are always reporting to the audit committee as well as external auditors, especially listed companies. So, we will discuss all these things, not only the job function of internal auditor that in a routine manner does, but also reporting aspect, like external auditor reports to the shareholders, same as the internal auditor to the audit committee, comprise board of directors. Yeah, that's all. That's all what we have to discuss as the syllabus. I mean to say, in a nutshell. In a nutshell, this is the syllabus structure. 8 parts. And we realized, understood, all these 8 parts are equally important, knowledge wise or in terms of knowledge, as well as using that knowledge for you to attempt the questions that you are getting in the examination paper. Okay. So, now from this we will move to the very first chapter that we are going to take together today, this gloomy wet Monday evening. Okay. So, this is just a walkthrough we had, I would say. Now, I will be taking the chapter number 1. Okay. Now, you know how we are going to do. I will take the chapter, first the theories. Okay. I will go through, but whenever you have questions, raise your hand, raise your voice. I told you already, it's your liberty. So, I will be going through the chapter with the theories, and then I will attach some of the practical aspects to these theories, practical aspects, whether it's very important in this level, corporate level, CA. And then I will be taking with you some of the questions that already been tested in that particular area, but I am pretty sure that we cannot identify in such way, because now we already realized in this level, corporate level, We cannot have a one chapter finish, discuss, finish and have a question from there like maybe in other levels, business levels and maybe different other levels. This is a corporate level. But still, I try my level best with you to locate some questions that been already tested in past papers, and let's see how we can apply the knowledge to the questions to come up with a good answer. Good answer. Okay. So, we will be taking the chapter number 1 actually. Let's now concentrate on the very first chapter. Okay. Hope everybody can see the screen very well because the size of the letter is very big, but I am okay. So, yeah. Now, before we start, I certainly believe today some of the participants that actually had confirmation of getting connecting today for the classes also not connected, maybe because of one thing is heavy raining. Of course, that should not be a matter when it comes to studies, especially at this level as professionals. Maybe the other thing is the time. It's 7:30 to 9:30. We actually thought of fixing make your life easy, but I now can understand because of the Monday and also finance people are very busy because of the within first couple of days of the month. Yeah, but still. Now you have this good opportunity. Let me tell you how we are going to conduct the classes from let us say next session onwards. You have option of attending as same as how you all are attending now the online, or else you all can attend physically for the classes. So, for that we can actually decide a feasible suitable date of the week. Let us say not Monday and Friday, but during rest of the 3 working days, that is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you guys are okay, I can conduct the classes, let us say 5:30 to 7:30. I can conduct, or maybe 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. It is how you guys are suggesting. When you want to attend physically for such classes, you all already aware, I believe, this online Akura institutions have their head office located at Union Place. Many of you guys may be working in Greater Colombo, could be easily accessed through. So, we can have a physical classes. Yeah. So, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, preferred time slots 5:30 to 7:30, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the evening. Let us leave Monday and Friday. You select majority, a decision of majority, let us pick the date. For an example, Wednesday, usually a hump day of the week. You are in the middle exactly. When it comes to weekends, possibility is there for Sunday. But I am doubt whether you guys with lot of other commitments are able to concentrate, attend classes on weekends, especially Sundays. But still I am okay, so please have sort of your own thoughts on this, or you suggest. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5:30, 7:30, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, even 6:30, 8:30 I am okay. Then Sunday probably at the evening, but I am doubt whether you guys are okay with that. So let's have that decision before we schedule the next session, so that once again your liberty, you guys can throw the suggestions. Let's take the majority. The very first chapter that we have, that we are going to take together after the discussion on to the syllabus curriculum we did, is this. As always, when we take a very first chapter, what is that? Introduction. Handinweema in Sinhala. As many other topics, syllabus curriculums, same as here, CA corporate level, advanced audit and assurance, the very first chapter is introduction. It could be introduction to the module, introduction to the curriculum syllabus, introduction to like this external audit. Why? In this corporate level, CA Sri Lanka advanced audit and assurance syllabus was designed, structured in such a way around the external auditor, financial statement auditor. Even though we discuss internal auditing, several other engagement review and other similar engagements that mostly even done by external auditors, except internal auditing. So it is the vicinity of external auditor. Vicinity. So the character in this whole syllabus curriculum is none other than our good buddy friend, external auditor. That's you. So it goes as introduction to external audit. Okay. So we have 4 different parts in this very first chapter. We have to discuss what do you mean by assurance engagement. We don't straight away start what is an audit, but we start what is an assurance. Then audit as a statutory assurance service, statutory audit and its audit opinion. From the engagement to audit, from the assurance engagement to audit, not straight away audit. I'll tell why. Then some of the laws and regulations in Sri Lanka pertaining to external audit or the auditors, and the list of 36 auditing standards as published by CA Sri Lanka as the regulatory authority to issue Sri Lanka auditing standards under the Act of 15 of 1995, Accounting and Auditing Act of Sri Lanka. So it's a very first chapter, we don't have much sections to be discussed. These are only 4 areas. because of today that we took syllabus discussion, chapter number 1 discussion, we might not have a time to take a question paper, of course, and it's a very first day. I don't like and I don't want to be a traditional, conventional style of lecture like, since it's a revision, let's take a question paper, let's search for questions which applies to this chapter. No, let's not do in that way. It's very first day, a calm, peaceful environment, in fact outside, a gloomy wet weather because it's raining. Hopefully now it's stopped. So let's discuss for another 30 minutes or so, and then we'll stop for the day. But session number 2 onwards, or next session, not chapter, our next session onwards, first the discussion, practical aspects, question papers, questions in those papers. Agreed? Okay. Without we straight away touch upon external audit or the financial statement audit, we want to discuss this quite a bigger concept, assurance engagements. When we say assurance engagements, that is scope wise larger than the external audit, or I would say here you have assurance engagements. Hope everybody can see the screen, and in there you have don't mix the two letters because totally you get the different meaning. Assurance engagement AE is a bigger one, and inside of it you have EA, external audit. So if you could understand what is AE, well, it's easy for you to understand EA. Okay. What is assurance? A sort of a confidence, isn't it? Sort of, let's say, a justification, a sort of a confirmation on a certain things, let's say, to others who actually expecting to raise a confidence in certain things, you want to confirm certain things. You, with your knowledge, skills, you provide this confirmation. It could be something whether it is right or wrong. It is something maybe you accept or don't accept. It is maybe something you say good now, not now, but later. It could be anything like that. Somebody or few people who are expecting from you because you are the one having the knowledge and skill set. And the other most important thing is such intended uses. අපේක්ෂිත මේ තමන්ගේ දේ තමන් කියන්න යන දේ සනාථ කරන්න යන දේ අපේක්ෂිත පාර්ශවය intended users. They will take economic decisions on your confirmation. So be careful, be vigilant, take seriously what you do. Why? Because they are going to take some economic decisions. Today in the afternoon, it was like about to rain. People who are even driving the cars, wants to have an umbrella. Why? Because it is going to rain in soon. So you carry an umbrella. It's just a mere decision. What is economic decision is, your decision involves monetary interest. Your decision involves monetary interest. So you have to be very careful on what you are going to say, confirm. Because the listener, intended user, the reader, a decision maker is going to take economic decisions. Assurance engagements is such nature, you provide confirmation, confidence to some innocent individuals, parties. My term innocent with maybe the knowledge. They don't know, they want from you to confirm. So that is what usually the nature of assurance engagements. Yeah, generally I would say a tri-party, not actually tri-party. Yeah, tri-party it could be. In addition to that, few elements added. One party could be you, assurance provider. Later it could be replaced with external auditor, let's say. The other party is somebody is doing some work, has to do some work, and you are going to verify on it, let's say. So my explanation is like almost like audit, right? It's okay. It's another party. And there is another party that who want to take this economic decision. So basically it's like a tri-party. But in addition to that, there are few elements also added to that. We'll discuss later further. So that's about the introduction. I'll take little time because it's the very first day, but hope you don't expect the same when we are moving along, because we have to do a lot of work including paper discussions. One of the most important thing when it comes to assurance engagements, believing what assurance provider says. Expected intended users should have a trust and confidence on the assurance provider at its pinnacle. Otherwise, this will not be successful. This will not be successful. So there are certain different many ways that you could do that, we will discuss later. But for the time being, one of the key factor is to enhance the confidence, trust. One of the key factor. for you to say, I did this assurance engagement well, let's say. Okay? Okay. Anybody who knows what are these three? Accountability, stewardship, and agency. Hand in hand. Hand in hand. What do you mean, hand in hand? Not same but tighten, close relationship. Accountability is something we lose as a country in many places, including that these days they are contesting. Accountability is where you accept the responsibility. Not only you accept the responsibility, but you discharge the responsibility at its highest level. Accept first, discharge the responsibilities at its highest. Accountability. Accountability. It could be in finance, marketing, HR, production, auditing, both external, internal, so on and so forth. So on and so forth. Stewardship and agency. Actually, this stewardship is also like you accept the responsibility, but in this case, you are accepting the responsibility and discharge the responsibilities on behalf of another person or another group of people. Then එහෙම බැලුවාම you are a finance manager, then of course you accept the responsibility and discharge on behalf of the organization, then stewardship is there. Yes, yes. But if you leave that aside for a moment, you think that, let's say we know that lawyers, some consultants, they do certain works on behalf of their clients, like maybe as auditors even. In there we have this good blend of stewardship. You accept the responsibility and discharge at its highest best on behalf of someone else who actually assign you this to be done. To be done, I would say. Agency, stewardship and agency having a very close relationship. That's why actually and is there, because agency means you have, let's say, a one person here and there is another person or few, let's take few, because of or due to many practical reasons, on behalf of them they appoint a person whom we call agent. As such, they all become principals. Whatever. Okay. They all become principals. Okay. Classic example is external auditor, later we will discuss. So, this is what we call agency theory even. In there, this person should look after the interest of this group of people. So, that is what agency. Okay. If you have any questions, please raise the voice. I can't see any of you are trying to ask any questions, but if you have, you raise your voice. Okay. Okay. This we already discussed, but we haven't discussed this. What is who is stakeholder? How do you identify or recognize a stakeholder? Don't say stakeholder is a shareholder. Shareholder could be part of the stakeholder group, but shareholder is not the stakeholder. Not same, I am saying. Now, stakeholder could be a one person or a group of people having a substantial interest towards an entity's day-to-day affairs as well as financial results or operational results. Substantial interest. Not only that, these individuals or let us say group of people, they want to take some economic decisions. Now you all know what is economic decision. They all want to do economic decisions. Such economic decisions that they do want to take are getting affected heavily. Two things: substantial interest, the decision economic what we are going to take is heavily affected. So, with those two conditions, we could determine who are the stakeholders. How to identify stakeholder? Number 2, ED's economic decisions getting affected. Two conditions. Two conditions. Should be both. Should be satisfied both. Both should be satisfied. Should be satisfied. Okay. Later in our discussions also you will be able to understand many different types of stakeholders, and here we are going to have just a glance, at a glance, who could be different types of stakeholders. Okay. It depends, right? It depends on the assurance engagement, it depends on the particular circumstance, correct. Many other things it could make the difference who could be your stakeholder. Okay. Okay. Now generally, if you read many textbooks, or even if you search the Google for that matter, you will get a list of stakeholders if you search different types of stakeholders, but don't do that. That's not right. Because you must first decide, think of which aspect or which element or whose point of view you want to look at the stakeholders, because based on that it could vary. And the other thing also, rather you look at the list, look at the categories, look at the categories. Many textbooks have these two categories. Anybody would like to try on this? Anybody would like to try on this? What are the two major type of stakeholders in common? It could be any situation, or if you want to be very certain on this, let's think of an auditor, external auditor. Anybody can suggest, say who are these two categories of stakeholders? Huh? Sorry? Internal and external. Very correct. Very correct. What Tusita said is exactly correct. Internal and external. But we have another category. Tell me what is that category as well. Huh? What is the other category? Let's say you are manufacturing footwear. You are manufacturing footwear, sell in the local market. Sell in the local market. Can't see. Then you have a main raw material supplier. Your company is Albert, main supplier is Bertie. 95% of your raw materials you purchase through Bertie. Bertie, external or internal? Bertie. You are Albert. You are manufacturing footwear and selling in the local market. Bertie is your supplier who provides 95% of your raw material requirements. Who is Bertie as a stakeholder, internal or external? External, because not in the organization, not involved in the business operation. No. External means external. But I am doubt. I know it's not internal, but I am doubt whether Bertie is external. If Bertie says end of March, Avrudu is in next month. End of March, Bertie says in a letter, I am not in a position to anymore supply raw materials. What will happen to Albert? What will happen to Albert? Manufacturing footwear, sell in the local market. 2 weeks time, Avrudu. End of March, you receive the letter. I don't think anymore you can park Bertie as external. Being a major supplier but interrelated. So we have another category, interrelated. What Tusita earlier said is right. Normally suppliers we could categorize as external. Normally customers we could categorize as external. That's true. That I could understand. Others also can understand. But what I am saying, the key supplier, key customer, key distributor, no. Interrelated. That you have to assess the level of impact that such stakeholder having on your business, the level of influence, the impact. Let's say you borrowed loans from a particular one licensed commercial bank for a very material substantial amount. Then you are overburdened with that bank. There is a high chance that bank is controlling your business operation to certain extent. Don't say no. It should be. Then you can't keep that bank as external, no? Because it is having impact on your business, no? So interrelated. So I am not going to discuss in detail, just for your knowledge. Just for your knowledge. But anybody having any questions? on these different types of stakeholders? Any questions? I haven't discussed in detail because as I mentioned, we are not here to discuss theories only. We'll just rush through. I mean, today I'm spending a lot of time because it's the very first day. But I'll make sure one thing, I'll not miss any important thing. I will not miss any of important things. I'll touch upon at least on a touch and go basis at least, because we want to do this plus past papers, questions, examination, questions. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Yeah, different stakeholders are having different expectations. True. People like you and me, employees, pay hikes, salary increases, bonuses, all these are our expectations, which is not for shareholders, no. For them, dividends, capital appreciations, that is different to the bankers, no. Bankers, whether to recover back the loan, principal plus interest, ability to grant more loans, suppliers, customers, different expectations. So different stakeholders are having different expectations. You be an auditor, external, we haven't yet discussed external auditing, but let's say you be an auditor, or maybe you be a finance manager, let's say for a time being, you must know who are the stakeholders and what expectations they are having. Key aspects of accountability is mainly accepting the responsibility and discharging the responsibility at its highest possible level to the satisfactory. Okay. Now we are gradually moving into the discussion of external auditing. Now you all have sort of a good knowledge what is assurance engagement. As part of assurance engagements, these accountabilities, stewardships, agency, stakeholders and their expectations, aspects of accountability, so on and so forth. It provides us the surface for us to gradually move into the big discussion, that is external audit as a main assurance engagement conducts by qualified chartered accountants, let's say. So the same thing earlier we discussed, assurance engagement to provide confirmation for the intended users with a lot of confidence, trust. It could be on anything triparty, relationship. Now, with that we are moving along to external auditing. Different levels of assurance: high level, low level, moderate level. It could be positive, it could be negative, it could be reasonable, it could be limited. So now we have this all thing to be discussed, because now we have some sort of a basic understanding on assurance engagements. Now again and again I want to tell you, all this knowledge is very important when you want to answer the questions in this CA level, CA corporate level, this particular advanced audit and assurance questions in the examination paper. All this knowledge, now for example, we will discuss probably in next day this, but I am telling you, if you don't know this, auditors are providing high but not absolute assurance. There are certain reasons for that. How could you answer a particular questions in there? Examiner was expecting from you to touch upon that area as well. When reporting as an external auditor, what are the aspects to be considered, or how you will be acting as external auditor in this particular moment when you are reporting to the shareholders? Then you must know auditors, especially on financial statement related matters, providing high level, not absolute, but reasonable assurance. That could be considered as high level in a given circumstance because it's a positive by nature. A positive dhanatmaka wenne, auditors are providing the assurance based on a law. හැමෝම එක විදියට ඒක කරනවා. ඒ ඇවිල්ලා auditing standards. Companies Act number 7 of 2007 වගේ you have to have a good knowledge. Even this chapter number 1 knowledge require neither. That's what we discuss. So take that seriously. Each of these discussions are important despite the fact session number 1 no question. What about MCQs ඇහුවොත්? The existing syllabus you have MCQs as well. Very limited questions, correct? Starting with that. What if asked? You should know. See, we will continue the discussion in this area. We have to discuss about the audit here, external audit, and few other discussions, related discussions on that. So basically, I hope we don't have much participants, as I mentioned, probably because of the climate or the weather today. Just before we started the class, it was cats and dogs, heavy rain, and maybe the other reason is because of 7:30 the time after office. Once again I'll remind you, you can think of a physical classes as well as continue with the online classes. Except Monday, Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are possible. One slot 5:30, 7:30, another slot 6 to 8. I may be in fact think of 6:30, 8:30, no problem. 3 days of the week. If else otherwise, else Sunday, but I don't think that you suggest. So you all can suggest together and we'll take the decision for majority votings. So we'll conclude for the day. Amidst the heavy raining, and it's a Monday, had a good session. So I would say good night. Thank you so very much and all the very best to all of you. Make sure that you comment, confirm your choice on next session onwards how we are going to attend the classes. I would prefer physical classes if you come and attend, but still it's your liberty to decide. So once again, good night, enjoy the week. Thank you so very much. All the very best to all of you.